All right, no music. Let's just go for it. Welcome, everybody. Just going to get it started here. I'm trying it a little bit different today. Once again, I'm trying to tinker with the technology to be able to go live on all the video platforms and at the same time be live in X Spaces and have it all record for the RSS feed and the whole deal. So it's a process, experimenting. Hopefully people can hear me out there. Those of you in here, if you can give me a little thumbs up to let me know that you can hear me, I'd appreciate that. Very good. Awesome. Let me just, I need to log into, or I need to ping our robot assistant to do a few things here. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to talk about the Bible, Memecoins, and the Mark of the Beast. I'm pretty sure there's, well, I would say there's conversations like this happening out there, but maybe not in the full context of what we're going to do today. Let me just make sure that our robot assistant is able to get up on stage here. Let's see. Again, I'm trying to work this with the... Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, wait. No, it's not working. All right. Here we go. All right. All right. Our robot assistant Canary Cry account is up on stage as a speaker. As we get people in here, let's go ahead and I'm going to pin this to the top. Okay. Yep. Here we go. So if you can scroll up to the top there, you'll see this Spaces. And if you can just click on that, bookmark it, like it, quote, post it, repost, whatever you got to do, tag some people, tag some friends, relatives, and try to get a few more people in here. So did anybody tune in to Trump Elon last night? I'll talk a few minutes as we get going here, just to have a moment or two for people to find the stream here. I was able to hop in. I was having trouble at the beginning, like everybody else, but then once I got in, I was in, and I was joking because there's a loop audio, like a music audio feature in Spaces where you can set it to where when you go live, instead of just silence, you get a little loop, and I was having fun with that. It was looping in my head so many times. I was saying that it sounded like I was on hold. With a call on, with customer service at Verizon or something, where they make you wait for like 45 minutes. And then I was also joking about how they're implanting campaign messages for dream advertisements, and I'd like to report that I didn't have any dreams last night that were directly related to inspiring me to vote for Trump or anything like that. Trump didn't show up in my dreams and tell me to vote for him or anything. So if there were any kind of dream advertising sort of suggestive subconscious messaging going on in the 45 minutes of looping music that was happening. It didn't get me. It didn't get me last night, or maybe the seed is there for some kind of future triggering. Nevertheless, hey Tham, I see you up here. What's up, hey Tham? I'm just seeing if you want to say something. What's up? Can I hear you? Hold on. Go ahead, talk. Not getting audio from Hatham. Can you guys hear Hatham? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. You guys can hear, but I can't. Okay, great. That's good. It's always a good sign. Oh man, that's a bummer. Hatham, if you drop down and hop back up, I think that's how it's done. You just got to hop off and then jump back on a speaker, and hopefully that'll work. I see a few other people up here. If you guys want to come off mute real quick. Oh, did I hear you? Go ahead. Maybe not. All right. Again, I'm trying something different too. I'm experimenting with the live stream video as well. Let me just double check to make sure we're live streaming on YouTube and everything. There we are. We're on YouTube. We're on Rumble. Video streaming on X as well. We're also on. Ooh, I gotta make sure we're going on Rockfin, Odyssey, Kick. You know, I don't know why we do that. I don't know why I torture myself and do that all the time. I guess it's just a principle thing where anytime we stream or anytime we make content, we try to make sure that we're doing our due diligence to at least be available on as many platforms as possible, especially since YouTube has not been friendly. By the way, YouTube took down our yesterday's episode of Canary Cry News Talk. I think it's just because we played some video footage of the Olympics, but come on, YouTube. Seriously, we didn't even play the audio. It was the Australian female breakdancer. All right, Hatham, try again. Hatham, I see your hand, buddy. Oh no. Is he stuck?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's on Don's end.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know why, Hatham. They don't want me to hear you, Hatham. Whatever message that you had, I just for some reason it is completely silent. Sir Darren, when you talked, I can hear you. So clearly, it's not just being on stage. That's interesting. El Gato Biblo. Oh, yeah, you used the PFP from the email. Yeah, there we are. Finally, somebody used it. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay. Let's see here. How are we doing on that pinned post? Sir Darren's on it. All right. How do I sound, by the way? This is the first time I am just using my phone to try to do the spaces side of things. I'm still in front of my mic for the live stream viewers, and I apologize for the live stream viewers. This is probably not that great for them. So I should probably just get started and get into stuff before too long. But we'll talk more about the Elon Trump spaces thing tomorrow on News Talk. But I did think it was fun. It was interesting. The only thing people were talking about was Trump's lisp, which I don't think it's a big deal, of course. But Chris Shiliza, our friend Chris Shiliza, was on like MSNBC or something talking about that. So doing work. Okay. So why in the world would I want to talk about meme coins and the Bible and the mark of the beast? What do these things have anything to do with each other? Well, for longtime listeners, you'd know that I've been covering mark of the beast, end times stuff for over a decade now, and I was thinking about that. It's like, man, I've been looking at this Bible prophecy stuff and processing the world through the lens of Scripture and everything, going on definitely over a decade now, and just thinking about my age, it's like over 25% of my life has been dedicated to this, which is kind of wild. But looking at the economic landscape through the last 10 years, and I didn't grow up with much of an education on economics or the economy in general. So I was pretty naive to how a lot of things worked. But when I started learning about the New World Order and all those types of things, clearly it's an Age of Deceit 1 back in 2011. There's a Ron Paul clip where he's laying out how we went off the gold standard in 1971, and you go down that rabbit trail and you find what happened in I think it was 1933, where they basically took it off, theoretically off the gold standard, but then 71 completely depegged from gold, and how our monetary system, the fiat system, is paper mache, literally, and there is no. It's literally it's magic. It's truly a form of magic because we all just agree that this piece of paper that our government says has a number on it is the amount of value that it holds, and then we exchange goods, values. The entire world economy operates on this system and on this belief that or this trust, I guess, a decree from the government. And Yeah, you learn about those things. You read G. Edward Griffin's Creature from Jekyll Island, and you start learning about all this, and you're like, man, really, yeah, the system is really messed up. And you look at credit cards, and you think about the '80s and even the '90s. There were a lot of when I look back, I wasn't around looking at the world through the lens of biblical prophecy back in the '90s. I was just a mere teenager, but at the time, you look back at the writing and people publishing books and stuff at the time, and they were talking about credit cards and barcodes and things as the mark of the beast. And it, as of now, those things haven't played out as the prophesied mark of the beast, but you can tell that they're just bricks, right? You're like rebuilding the Tower of Babel. They're just bricks upon bricks being laid, and something like the credit card system and the whole debt-based economy and all that. These are all bricks. And one could argue that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all this stuff accelerates that. And it does. It does in a certain way, definitely make things progress further. But I do find it interesting that as we go into this world of digital assets and crypto and Web3 and all these different elements to our economy and our day-to-day transaction, buying and selling, commerce, trade, all these things of value, as we go into it, the topic of the mark of the beast is going to become even more just common knowledge. It's already pretty common knowledge, right? Most people have heard about it or know something about it. You don't have to be a believer to at least have heard about the mark of the beast prophecies. But I find it fascinating that as we enter more and more into this digitally tracked economic system and all that, the knowledge, truly knowledge increases. The knowledge about the prophecies increase, but at the same time, we're just more susceptible to fulfilling it. And actually, the people that are most aware of it might be the ones to actually help facilitate fulfilling all that. So it's just a wild time. It's a wild time with lots of changes. But as I was going through this, and some people have done this with Bitcoin. I know Pastor Coin has done a pretty good job of breaking down at least Bitcoin in the context of sound money and biblical money principles and things of that nature. And certainly those are aspects that you can make sense of Bitcoin as a monetary thing and whatnot. And I don't necessarily disagree with a lot of what folks like that. A lot of the Christians who have been, who have brought sort of the Bible and Bitcoin type of conversation to the forefront, they haven't really blown up too much. I mean, they're out there, they're doing it, and I appreciate their work. With me though, it's a little bit. It's like I agree with them, and I think short term this is sort of the right direction. But of course, as a watchman, I'm kind of looking further down the horizon, and it's a bumpy road, but also it may not end well with all this stuff. And I've talked about that a lot and documented it in Age of Deceit 4. But the concept of meme coins is very fascinating. Meme coins in particular, because you have crypto. There's a lot of different categories. There's a lot of different discussions, and you find that once you start jumping into the realm of crypto, I mean, it's an endless rabbit trail. There's so many aspects to it, and if you're new to it, and the reason why I wanted to do this spaces and make this available to the RSS feed, and I messed up on that last week, so I apologize for people in the RSS. You did not get last week's spaces, which was pretty good, good guests and stuff, but I don't know, I messed up on the tech. The reason why I wanted to talk about it is because there's lingo to catch up with, and this might be cringe for people that are already in Web3, but there's lingo to catch up with, but also I think there's a lot more commonality with the topic of something like meme coins or just memes in general with parables, biblical parables, as well as the conversation about the mark of the beast in particular. So there's a lot to discuss around it, and I want to go through a list real quick. And these are for people brand new to crypto, Web3, especially Web3 in particular. And Web3 is really just the evolution of the internet. All of us are in Web2 currently. The very bare basic idea with Web3 is that there are centralized servers that basically control the gates, the ramps basically to come in and out of a particular website or anything really. If you talk about your bank account or something, if you have a Chase bank account, right now you go to the Chase website and then you log in. You have a login and a password, and that's how you access your money allegedly on this ledger in Chase. Well, Web3 changes that a little bit. You have a wallet, a digital wallet that that's yours. You have access to the wallet and all of the digital assets inside that wallet, and then you attach that wallet, you connect it to websites in Web3 to do things, whether it's trade or buy things or sell things or whatever it is. So it's a little bit of a different model. It's practically the same thing, but you can see how it's different from traditional forms of how we've done stuff like banking the last 20 years with websites and credit cards and stuff. So that's sort of the basic difference. But once you're in that world, it is a wild west. I don't necessarily recommend it for people because it's pretty brutal, folks. It is brutal in many different ways. It's not for the faint of heart. I think part of my call as watchmen and just sort of doing this stuff of reporting on things in the world, but keeping things grounded in the word because not we're not of the world. We're in the world, not of it. Keeping that perspective, keeping the perspective that we're in a spiritual war, that we are battling principalities and powers, and it's not a flesh and blood situation that we are confronted with, even though it may seem like it. There's a lot of things. Now, the words, these are just key words that I'll be using in general conversation here, but also just to get you up to speed, especially if you are new to Web3, which a lot of you listening, especially later on, it's probably new. So here we go. Here's the quick list. The first one, the first word, is degen. It's short for degenerate. Okay, and these are just people that are. It's generally referencing people that are high risk traders or investors in crypto and Web3. The whole culture, we just call each other degens. That's sort of it's become somewhat of an endearing term for some people, but it's just a general term used. Next one, I'm just gonna fly through these. Next one is wrecked, REKT, wrecked. It's a slang for being wrecked, like WRECKED, and basically just describes a severe financial loss in the markets due to either a bad trade or in Web3, you can go to a bad website and click on a bad link, and boom, it'll drain your wallet. So you can get wrecked that way. There are lots of ways to get wrecked in Web3. Aping. Aping is basically when you jump into a trade or an investment quickly and you use pretty much all your funds to do it. It's not a healthy practice. It is not a recommended practice, but people flex. I aped into this coin or whatever. And by the way, a lot of the culture in Web3, it's a lot of talk, and the people that are really living by the mantras in Web3 are probably losing a lot of money because it doesn't make sense. This stuff doesn't make sense other than maybe a couple months during a crazy bull run where we go parabolic and you can just pick any coin off of CoinMarketCap and it'll 10x in the next couple days. There are little periods like that, but other than that, for the most part, this is all terrible advice. Ooh, Haytham, I think I heard you this time. Try coming off mute real quick. All right, maybe not.
Yeah, bro, did you hear me?
Yeah, there you are. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, good evening, bro. I'm from Gaza. My situation and my connection is very, very bad here.
Oh, interesting. So are you in that area right now?
Yeah, I'm in Gaza.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that like? What do you see?
You know why what?
What's like your day to day? Like when you wake up, what's life like?
I swear we have a very, very bad situation, bro. In a few days we have a very, very bad situation. We trying to move from place to another place and we are sleeping in the street long time ago and we lost some tent before we moved. We had tent because Israel attacked all the building, attack all the home. So
Wow.
we had been in the tent, and then they said we must move from this place to another place under the bombing. We move and we move without anything. So we stay in the street, bro. We stay without anything. And here is very, very bad situation, like no food, no water. I swear, brother.
That's tough, man. Well, there are many people out here in the West that are praying for people like you, and there are a lot of people asking what people out here can do for you guys. Um, can you guys get out of there? Are you guys stuck? Like, what kind of situation are you guys in terms of mobility and being able to get to a place that's safer?
Bro, nobody can help us. Nobody can do anything for other. Nobody can do anything for other. I swear. So I'm here. I'm here in this space, brother. I'm just looking for small help. If anybody he can help me with this, with a little, to bring something for our kids. I hope that. I have a address of wallet of Binance. Any wallet, any address of wallet I can give you, like for Ethereum, for USDT, for Solana, I can give you.
Well, let me ask you this: what if crypto is sent to those wallets? How do you guys use that, like boots on the ground in a given situation?
Yeah,
How does that feed people?
yeah. I find some people here. I find some people here. I give them, yeah, and they give me cash, and they can take 30%.
Oh,
You
wow, they take
understand how
30%.
30%? Yeah, like if I
That
get
sounds like America, man.
1,000, I got it 700 cash. Yeah, I have people here around. They have before office, they working, but now they are in street. You understand how they can buy and sell in the street. You can get connection anywhere from anywhere, and I can give them, and he give me cash, but he take a commission like 30%.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Let me ask you this: what is your what is your belief? What is your faith?
It's my face.
Yeah, do you believe in God? You still there, Hatham?
Your voice go, bro. I
Oh,
cannot
sorry.
hear you well. I cannot hear you well.
Oh, so I was just
Your voice
asking.
is go.
I was asking if what your faith is. Do you believe in God? What religion, if you have one?
What is my religion?
Yes, just curious.
Yeah, all people here, almost of people here, they are Muslim.
Cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I wanted to just find out and yeah, make sure.
Yeah, and any address you want, I can give you, like a Solana address, or for Ethereum, or for USDT. I can give you any wallet, bro.
Well, I see your I'm just looking at your account. I see that you have a Soul Wallet um as one of your posts.
Yeah, and Ethereum, and I put here in the comment Ethereum. I will put now USDT wallet.
All right, buddy. If
I
anybody
swear.
wants to help him out, go ahead. Consider it. I will. I'll see what I can do after the spaces, and I'll check some things out and see how it goes, buddy. But we're praying for you. Um, we love you, and Jesus loves you, and we're praying for your protection and all that. So um, appreciate you hopping on. Appreciate you
Yeah,
giving us a little bit of insight.
Bro, because the connection is bad, I cannot hear anything from you.
Okay. Sorry, buddy. I don't know. I don't know what to do
And
with
not
the.
easy to get battery.
Yeah. Okay. If the connection's bad, you might have to drop down and hop back up. But um, yeah, if anybody wants to help him out, you can go to find his account there. He's Hatham up here.
Yeah, so please, if you can do anything right now, like for emergency.
Okay, looks like we lost connection there. Okay. Cool. Well, Hatham, I don't know if you can still hear me. Kind of lost connection there for a second. Again, if anybody wants to help him out, I would like to learn more before before I do anything. Um, and that's just my own sort of due diligence with stuff like that. And it's not anything personal or anything. This is just an example um, when it comes to situations like this because it's you know it's kind of like when it reminds me of when I'm out and about and I see people struggling and they're asking for stuff and it's they got kids and there's a lot of that's one of the things I've learned from just church, just being around church. A good way to make good with that is not necessarily giving people just cash and money and stuff all the time, but like coupons and stuff for food, and that way you know that they're them or somebody's gonna eat. So that I'd rather do stuff like that. Just more tangible things. It's just my personal style in serving, and when it comes to stuff like this. Um, so yeah. Oh, interesting. Anything can happen in X spaces, folks. I just say that. Anything can happen. So, Haytham, I don't know if you can still hear me, bud. I'm gonna continue on with some of the conversations that I plan to have today with the spaces. But we're praying for you, bud, and anybody who wants to help you out, they're there. They will consider it, and maybe I'll hit you in the DMs or something, and we can chat a little bit more. So good to meet you. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming up and sharing your situation. So, okay, let's get back to some of this. I was talking a little bit about what was I saying? Something about how meme coins are memes are like parables. I think that was sort of the idea, and it might sound kind of crazy, but I do think there is some overlap. It's not one to one, but you can make an argument that in general memes, which by the way the origin of memes, it came from Richard Dawkins, or at least sort of the modern iteration of the concept in the 1976 book The Selfish Gene. It's Richard Dawkins. He's a famous evolutionary biologist who famously, by the way, was in an interview with Ben Stein. I forget the name of the movie, but it was about God and everything. And basically, Richard Dawkins's answer to directed panspermia, or at least sort of a God that would create life as we know it. His answer was directed panspermia, which is basically like an alien civilization came and seeded our world, which is which is kind of like, okay, wow, I didn't know Richard Dawkins, the evolution and theory of evolution guy, was like a ancient alien dude too. But apparently, when pressed, that's what he is. He came up with the cultural term meme, is sort of a catchphrase, and it became a cultural symbol on the internet over the next 2-3 decades, and here we are. But it does communicate quite a bit in short form, right? It's like a quick short form way to communicate ideas and a lot of intricacy too. So some similarities between parables and memes. So Jesus, obviously, he used parables to communicate moral and spiritual lessons and ideas. And he did it in a way that was relatable and understandable to his audience in the first century there. And they were simple stories that are applicable to our daily lives. And, that's sort of the amazing thing about the Bible as well, which is you can apply it to the people of Jesus's day and your day-to-day life. Every day you wake up, you can apply these lessons that were in parables and sort of extract the lessons into your modern day. And similar with memes. I mean, memes aren't necessarily communicating moral and spiritual lessons, although I would argue that those things can happen. I'm seeing it more and more, and I would like to think that I'm participating in something like that. I hope to use the meme vehicle to communicate some more things here, but memes do distill a lot of complex ideas into a simple, easily digestible format. And it's easily accessible, it's easily shareable, things of that nature. And similarly, there are cultural references that parables make and to everyday life, like I mentioned. And memes do the same thing. They take sort of everyday things and they put it into a format that is that everyone can relate to. It's sort of the power of memes. Everybody can understand, or most everybody, not most of the memes, the big ones anyway, most people can understand pretty simply. So you got that. You have the layered meanings. Jesus's parables, you got the basic sort of lesson there, but then there's always stuff underneath. Anything with the Bible. I know there are some spaces in the devotional community that talk about the contradictions in the Bible, the 100 and something odd contradictions. And I always like what Chuck Missler said about contradictions in the Bible. Because if you think there's a contradiction, dig deeper, because there's usually a deeper truth that needs to be uncovered or has been uncovered regarding some of the alleged or apparent sort of contradictions. So that's what I found. I mean, you can go through the hundreds of contradictions and sort of debunk one by one. And a lot of times you find that like the actual explanation is like, whoa, that is super deep. And it connects ideas that you didn't think connected and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, the layered meanings of it all. And then the engagement. Of course, Jesus's parables are historically, I mean, they're perhaps, some of the most famous stories told over time, over history, that have shaped, it has shaped culture, it has shaped history, it has shaped people's lives. And so it's some of the most powerful things to have ever existed. And I don't know, memes haven't quite gotten there yet, but in terms of the new generation and where we're headed, certainly ideas and thoughts and cultural moments are captured via meme. Flame, what's up, buddy? I see your hand up. What you got?
Hey, what's up? Mic test, first of all. I'm in the car.
Yo, I can hear you loud and clear, buddy.
Gons, I'm stoked to catch you on a live space, and I appreciate you doing the Twitter thing as well, because that's where I am, although I do watch on YouTube as well. And Rumble, if you guys ever get banned from YouTube. But just want to say, I think you always bring up these good topics like the parables versus meme coins. I think a really good point that you already made is, the parables break down things that, an uneducated person back in the day might not be able to wrap their head around, and a parable makes it so much more digestible. In the same way, a meme coin, it's almost like the marketing is always very digestible. Hey, loser, buy this now. Like, it's just very direct and very simple, and there's no other way to interpret it. It's just very direct. So I loved what you're saying. I just wanted to come up and give you your flowers. You crush it, and I appreciate you doing this for so many years, man. So, yeah, thank you, Gons.
Appreciate it, Flame. And I know you're building stuff over there on, what are you on, VeChain? I think you're on VeChain, right? And
yep, I'm a validator node on Cardano, and then I'm also on VeChain as well. So I'm all in the mix on blockchain.
There you go. Yeah. So you're one of these dudes that's been actually building for years. So you keep doing it, buddy. Keep doing it, and might recruit you for some of the stuff that we might be building on our end over here. So it's part of our resilience and trying to survive. Because clearly the landscape is changing, and right now X is sort of the way. It's the free speech platform and whatnot. But I know I'm a buzzkill, but I try to warn people like, hey, just enjoy it right now, because it's not gonna last, folks. It's really not. It's gonna end at some point. It's gonna be like, hey, get the Neuralink or you can't stay on X. That moment might come in the future. So.
Well, you said on the podcast the other day that X is really feeling like YouTube circa 2011-ish. And dude, I couldn't agree more with that. Right now is like a golden time for Twitter, and we should enjoy it and should be connecting with people while we can.
Yeah, amen, 100%. I think you're right about that. Yeah, the those of us who were around, 10, 15 years ago, YouTube were similar vibes here on X right now. So definitely, definitely. Cool. Anything else, Flame, before I press forward with some of this stuff I have here in my notes?
I mean, I'm definitely surrounded by the crypto culture constantly, and I have a lot of friends who are a lot more degenerate than me. And I guess one more thought I'd throw out there is that a lot of these memes are kind of blasphemous.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about that. Yeah.
Okay, yep, that's my only real other thought about it is that, one of the differences is obviously the parables are pure, and 90% of the memes out there are pretty offensive.
It's very offensive. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. The whole, like I was saying at the top of the spaces here, how it's not for the faint of heart. You really, it's 18 plus type thing. You really got to be aware. It really is just kind of like the secular world type thing. Going to any secular website or looking at some kind of movie list or something. But it even worse at times. You go to someplace like pump.fun, which is on Solana. It has become the hub of meme coins. I think I heard that something like 20 to 30,000 coins are launched every day on pump.fun. And I mean, it's all garbage. It's all it's all nonsense. And you'll get, first of all, be careful when you go to the website because things are flashing, and if you are susceptible to, like, if you have like epileptic seizures and stuff, you might have one when you get there because it's just out of control. The flashing and the new coins popping up, and it's just it's madness, absolute madness. And I'm it's all terrible. None of them are good memes at this point. But I also heard that pump.fun is raking in about $30 million a month, which is absolute insanity. That is absolute lunacy. And it speaks to the degen culture that I started with here, talking about some of the words in Web3, short for degenerate. It truly is. I mean, it's a sad sort of, it's a sad, dark place. If you really think about it,
unfortunately, everyone sold a dream, Gons. Everyone sold the dream that you turn one soul to 100 or whatever it is, 1 ETH to 100. It's like, and then you see on Twitter these guys on jet skis and living rich. It's kind of a toxic environment where people just try to convince you you're going to get rich off of something called like Joe Biden or something. It's just so toxic, man.
I know, and I will say, just full transparency, I've played some of these meme coins and I've done okay on a couple of them, and some, and I, not the really horrible ones, but there are a couple that I did okay and I got out. And most of the time though, and I'm putting in very, very, very small amounts, folks. I mean, I feel like I'm at a casino. My parents loved I grew up in a secular home. I grew up in a Buddhist sort of atheistic home, and my parents loved going to Vegas every year and doing the slot machines. They're Asian parents. What are you going to do? And they they did the slot machines all the time. So I know I feel it. I'm like, oh my gosh, my genetics are kicking in. I want to like go gamble, all this crazy stuff, but I hold back. I don't do that because it's pretty ridiculous. But I'll throw in $5 here and there and just see, I'm not betting the farm on any of this stuff. But for the most part, usually you throw in the $5, it turns into 20 in 5 minutes, or it's 0 in 5 minutes. So it really is just nonsensical. It's not something recommended. Yes, we get wrecked all the time over here. And yes, to your point, Flame, about this empty promise, there are sayings like WAGMI. It's WAGMI. It's we're all going to make it. And it's an expression of optimism within the crypto community. And entire coins have been formed around, WAGMI culture and all this kind of stuff. But it's truly, you break down the words, it's not a true statement. We're not, well, in the context of like getting rich, which is the crypto context, we're all going to make it. Probably not in terms of any kind of true rich wealth. Now, we can change the meaning of we're all going to make it to something different and maybe have it mean something in a particular community or something like that. But in general, you know, it's these are empty promises, as Flame was talking about.
Do you follow Zach XBT, Gons?
I follow his. I think I follow his account. I'm not tick for tat on everything he does, but I know he does a pretty decent job anyway of trying to expose some stuff in the in Web3 and doing that whole thing, chain analysis stuff.
Right, and the reason I bring that up is because he's kind of notorious for exposing these same people who scream "wag me." Like, you know, these people be on a Twitter space saying, "Oh, buy right now, it's a dip, blah blah blah," and at the very same time, like, they get exposed for being the ones who are selling the very coin to the people they're preaching. So it's like, you got to be careful about that stuff too, because the person telling you "wag me" might be selling the very coin that he's telling you to buy for "wag me."
Right.
And Zach XBT shows that time and time again. So yeah, you're right, Gons. There's a lot of buzzwords and lottery ticket feelings, and you know, flashing lights, like you said, like casinos. It really is like that, but it's super unregulated. So I mean, you probably have better odds at a casino than you do at Pump.Fun.
That's true. Your odds at a blackjack table with like 5 decks is probably better than randomly picking a Pump.Fun and trying to hit it big with that. Let's do a couple more words here before we go back to some other stuff. Just for people, because I know some people are, again, they're new to this type of world, but this is the language being used in Web3. One of them, I hear this all the time, paper hands. Paper hands. So there's two sides. There's paper hands, and then there's diamond hands. So if you have diamond hands, then you are never selling anything. You're buying your crypto. I don't care if it goes to zero. I don't care if there's no value. I'm diamond handing this coin. I'm holding it forever. That's sort of the sentiment. The opposite of that is paper hands, which is anytime there's a dip or, you know, anything that suggests that maybe the price is going to go down or something, they sell immediately. And, you know, so they're paper hands. And, you know, people use it as a derogatory term to blame others, you know, like if they're in a crypto coin and then they see somebody that sells, you can say, oh, look at these paper handers. And actually the word that became more common recently is, I actually don't know the true viability of this word, but it's JEETs. It's JEETS. So if you're a JEET, you're selling too quickly and you're causing market volatility, and the people that are trying to make it are mad at you. So it's a ridiculous thing. And by the way, all of this stuff happening with meme coins, it's called P2P or PvP. I'm sorry, person versus person. So everybody's on their own, and literally you're just taking money from one another. There's nothing necessarily positive about this. There's only bad, now there are some people that I've seen there were a couple people in the Doginal Dogs community that came in and they threw in 1 or 2 SOL into some meme coin and they extracted like 80 or 90 SOL within a day or something. That can happen, but those are rare. Those are very rare. For the most part, people are losing money. So another word is FOMO. That's fear of missing out. You will hear that often in many different contexts, but in crypto, it's a real emotion thing. When you see charts, when you see certain coins going up, you get FOMO. You fear of missing. You fear that you're going to miss out on the pump, so you start buying. And by the time you're buying, you are the exit liquidity, meaning you are the one giving the money for the people that bought early to actually cash out. And so again, PvP, person versus person. You're basically donating your money at that point. But okay, so these are some things in the meme coin world, some words happening. But in general, there are some biblical principles when it comes to stewardship and wealth, and I think it's interesting because these are, if you are a degen, if you're in the space and you're a degen, like you're coming from Web3 and you're not really into Bible stuff, this is great because some of the principles that you'll learn biblically will apply to you as a meme coin person or a meme coin trader or whatever, a degen. And the first one is, it's coming from Matthew 25. It's about it's the parable of the talents. This is a very famous parable, and it's basically where a master gives three of his servants three separate amounts of talents, which is it's like money back in the day, and he gives the first servant 5 talents, the second servant 2 talents, and the third servant 1 talent, and they're each given basically the instruction to take care of it and grow the riches, basically grow the talents, do what you can to invest, do well. And so the first servant with 5 talents invests the money and earns 5 more. He 2x's everything, 100% gain on his investment. So now he goes from 5 talents to 10 talents. Same with the second guy, 2 talents to 4 talents. He doubles. The third servant with the 1 talent, out of fear, buries the money and doesn't earn anything. Just holds on. He hodls. He diamond hands it, right? He diamond hands his talents. And when the master returns, he praises the first servant because he doubled his money, 5 to 10 talents. He praises the second servant, doubling his money, 2 talents to 4 talents. But he basically casts out the third servant into like the outer darkness. It's like, get out of here. Like, what are you doing? You're lazy. You're fearful. Like you're sitting on your hands. You didn't do anything with it. What are you doing? You're out of here. And so it's an important lesson on stewardship, and especially if you are given stewardship from God, what that means, what that looks like. There's a level of accountability and how to manage the master's resources, because truly all of money belongs to God. We're all stewards. We're here to steward the money. It's not like, it's my money. Nope, it's God's money, and we're just here to steward it. And then the faithful reward for being faithful, doing the right thing. There are rewards later down the road for that. So let's see, somebody's unmuted here. Oh, Hatham, are you back, buddy? Can you hear me? Looks like Hatham is having a little bit of issue there with the mic. Let me go ahead and...
Gons, I gotta go. Thank you for the time.
Hey, thanks, Flame. Appreciate you hopping up. Good to see you. It's good talking to you. Okay. So I was talking a little bit about the parable of the talents. So yeah. So there you go. I mean, okay. Thank you. Oops, sorry. I was muted in the spaces. So people live stream can hear me, but people in the spaces couldn't for a second. Okay. All right, here we go. What was I talking about? Stewardship and wealth. Oh yeah, the parable of the talents. Okay, so yeah, if you're in if you're in Web3 and you're looking at it through the modern perspective there, you can kind of see how this applies to, making good decisions with your investments, not sitting on your hands with it, but also not being too degenerate with it, because Proverbs 21:5 says this: the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. And this is a very applicable passage for people playing meme coins, because what people playing meme coins, what they're doing is trying to hit it big. They're trying to get that one play where you can throw in $10 and it turns into $10,000 in a couple hours or a couple days or something like that. They're looking for the hasty, right? They're looking for an immediate return. And it says here in Proverbs that people that do that, they only come to poverty. That's what it says. That's what the scriptures say. And it truly, I mean, it applies to gambling in nature, just in general. But I find it fascinating that it even applies more in this sort of context of a meme coinery and degeneracy that is present in Web3. Also, let's see, 1 Timothy 6:10. This is a pretty famous passage. Most people know about this. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. That not that money itself is evil, but that it's the root of all kinds of evil. And it is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs. And yes, if you lose focus of what's really important, you can get lost in anything really. I mean, meme coins and crypto and Web3 and all that is an aspect that is an extension of just our world today. So the good and the bad. And then back to Proverbs here. This is 13:11. Wealth. This is the same idea as the other Proverbs. I guess I should have done the Proverbs one together. But wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. And this is not financial advice. This is experience. It is true that people who have invested in Bitcoin little by little over the last, I can't remember the exact math, but it's like over the last like a couple years or something, they're all in profit in terms of dollar value. And there's something to be said about not trying to jump in and out of the markets and trying to swing trade and day trade and doing all that and just literally accumulating over time, whether you're in a dip or a bull period. And a lot of times people regret not selling during the bull periods in crypto. I've lived through 2 full cycles now. This is my 3rd cycle in crypto. And cycles are basically 4-year windows, around 4 years, where crypto seems to go through a high peak period and then a valley period. And until those patterns are disproven, I think we will stick to something like it. And based on where we are currently, I mean, we're pretty much right on schedule with some of those things. Maybe I'll talk about some of those charts and stuff. I've done my own technical analysis on charts and macro analysis on crypto and stuff that on my personal time, I don't share these things publicly, but maybe I will one of these days. But there are patterns that you can see, and it's true with anything, with any kind of investment. You're not going to just make a killing overnight. It does take time and due diligence and just with anything, little by little, day by day. And let's see, Proverbs 28. This is gambling versus investing. A faithful man will abound with blessings, but whoever hastens to be rich will not go unpunished. Similar idea there. And another one, this one really saved my butt, folks. This passage literally truly kept me from completely losing my mind, okay? This next passage. It's coming from Ecclesiastes 11, verse 2. And the passage is, give a portion to 7 or even 8, for you know not what disaster may happen on earth. And the idea here is to diversify your investments. A lot of investment people use this passage as a sort of a way to say that, hey, you should diversify your investments instead of going all in, putting all your eggs in one basket, as they say. It's sort of the saying, because you never know what's going to happen. And I took this verse very seriously in my early days of learning about money and wealth biblically, and also trying to apply it in my crypto stuff, investing and whatnot. And Ecclesiastes 11:2, because at first I was like, all right, I'm going all in on this or that or whatever. But when I learned about this passage and I really tried to absorb it and tried to, have this leading of the Holy Spirit, teach me through it and guide me through it, it became apparent to me that I got to diversify my bags, basically. When I say bags, that's another sort of term used in Web3 to talk about your own holdings. You talk about your bags, okay? So that's another colloquial thing. So I had one big bag, but then I was like, something might happen. I'm going to diversify. I'm going to put it into 5 different bags. So I started doing that. And sure enough, between 2021, 2022, some of the bags went bye-bye. They went bye-bye. And truly, on one of them, it was stolen. It was stolen from me. It was stolen not just from me, I think it was like 300,000 people, maybe more. at least on this particular not this X application. It was called Celsius Network, but they were robbed. All of their crypto were taken. I mean, it's ongoing. We got some of it back, but it's an ongoing legal process. It's a nightmare, absolute nightmare. And I had a good amount of my bags in Celsius Network, and it was very painful when we lost that money. But thankfully, because I followed Ecclesiastes 11:2, I had other bags, mostly that were self-custody, which basically means that I control the crypto, because there's a difference as you go through Web3 and you learn about crypto. There's a difference between self-custody and non-self-custody. I forget the term. There's a term for it. Basically, the idea is that you hold your private key or your password to your crypto, or you don't. Somebody else holds it. And if you have your coins on Coinbase or Crypto.com or some kind of centralized exchange, then technically they hold your crypto and you have access to it, allegedly. But at any point, if they shut down, then you lose direct access to that crypto. So it is a hard lesson that was learned. And I still have some things in centralized exchanges. I have a Coinbase account, for example. And by the way, interestingly enough, I tried to open a Crypto.com account and they rejected me. I was even willing to KYC, know your customer, dox myself to the government with Crypto.com. I was like, hey, here's my ID. Can I get a Crypto.com account? And they're like, no, you can't. You are rejected. And I was like, really? That's crazy. So anyway, I don't have a Crypto.com account. That is not an endorsement. I'm just telling you that I was rejected for some reason. So anyway, because I had diversified, because I took Ecclesiastes 11:2 very seriously, it truly saved a lot of my I guess my presence in crypto and Web3, because I didn't lose everything. So then I was able to somewhat start over in a sense, and it was a good lesson to be learned. And but it's just one of those things. Where scripture applies and actually helped out, at least in my personal life. And of course, moving on here, Matthew 6:24, very famous passage. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other, or he will be devoted to one and, you cannot serve God and money. And truly, you can't. Whenever there is FOMO, fear of missing out, whenever there's hype, and you're going to see it. And the one thing that's very fascinating to me, and I hope everybody that listens and is learning this time around, when the crypto markets start going crazy again, because it'll start going nuts again. Right now, it's kind of a lull. We're going sideways, and there's a lot of turmoil and a lot of different things happening in the world that are making all markets unstable. But if you really dwindle down to the nitty-gritty, markets are both indicators of human emotion and controllers of human emotion. You can really cause a lot of panic in millions of people if you manipulate the markets and crash the price of assets. We saw this last week with Japan raising rates and it causing a cascade, and all the markets worldwide started shutting down and pulling the brakes and doing the whole thing, because everybody starts freaking out, and you can see the emotional response based on markets. So more than just the money aspect of this, it's really fascinating because you get to watch in real time how the emotions of, at least, the people higher up in the economy and whatnot, what they're doing. And crypto's no different. You see the charts pump, and you can notice on applications like X, people behave differently at different times. There's tropes. There are tropes in crypto and crypto Twitter, where as soon as the markets start to dip or go down, everybody starts making McDonald's memes. Basically, we all got to go back to McDonald's, get a job at McDonald's, because nobody has money anymore because markets are falling. And then on the opposite side, when we have a big green day and everything is pumping, then all of a sudden everybody's blasting pictures of their favorite cars, or they're on a yacht, or they got a cigar in their hand or something like that. You can just tell the emotional up and down based on the markets. And it's truly, you talk about you can't serve God and money. Uh, If you're serving God, the markets don't affect you. You can see right through it, and you can kind of separate yourself from the emotional manipulation taking place. That's been a really important thing for me personally, because I have my investments in the crypto world, and crypto is a very volatile market. Yeah, there are days when it's like I open my portfolio and it's like, oh my goodness, what is going on? This is terrible. But also that feeling I know is temporary. It's like, all right, just not look at the portfolio today, or just move on, or it's just money and whatever. You just move on. It's really, if you're not serving mammon, you don't get emotionally manipulated by it. And so, as people in Web3, this is very important for people. I hope somebody in Web3, as somebody who's a degen, is hearing this, and they're, they're hearing me. They're at least they're hearing the word of God, sort of, I don't know, resonate and convict them, because you don't have to go with every hype. You don't have to go with every pump, every dump. You just don't. You can stay put. You can do nothing, and not get carried away by this stuff. So, very important passage there. All right, I'm just seeing, oh, people are jumping up on stage. I didn't even notice. Let's see who's up on stage here. Oh, we got Reformed Truth or Ministries up here. El Gato Biblo, Sir Darren's up here. Sir Dylan. Cool. I got one more passage before going into Revelation 13 here. It's Luke 12:15, and he said that to them, "Take care and be on your guard against all covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions." And yeah, just important to remember, as I know it's very the culture in Web3 and crypto and stuff is very much like, it's very secular, but it's very much like the, I don't know, the flex type of culture, where you want to show off your things and your possessions if you are doing well. And I think it's okay to inspire people to do better and to wake up and do good and stuff. That's not a problem. I mean, I know some of it is just for show and whatnot, but I mean, what is the internet? What is Web3? I mean, we're all on here with a profile picture. We're all, some of us are doxxed, some of us are not, but we're all just here in a digital way. It's not truly in real life, although it is. It's sort of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So we got to kind of be real with what we're doing here, and so keeping that stuff in mind. All right, anybody on stage want to say anything before I jump into Revelation 13? And talk a little bit about the mark. Sir Darren says thumbs down, which means no. All right, I'm just going right into Revelation 13 here. And the famous passages about the mark of the beast. Everyone should know it by now, starting in verse 16. Also, it causes, it being the second beast, causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is, the name of the beast or the number of its name. And yes, very famous passage, and a lot of speculation as to what it is. And in the context of meme coins, it is fascinating, because all digital currency, one could argue, I've heard this argument be made, that all cryptocurrencies, all digital currencies are meme coins. Like even Bitcoin, in a sense, is a meme coin in a way. And if that's the case, and the world we're moving into is a true digital world where there are actual physical consequences, especially, you get into the Jason P. Lowry stuff, the soft war thesis, and how proof of work is creating a system where there is actual burning of energy, which means actual physical work, physical consequence, an actual power projection, like physical power projection, as part of maintaining the digital network. That whole infrastructure shift is coming, and I think Trump talking about energy and all that part of that is this conversation. I know he didn't really necessarily bring up Bitcoin yesterday, but that's part of the conversation here with the energy aspect of it. And if some kind of currency is going to require you to show loyalty in a very particular form here with the right hand or the forehead as described in the book of Revelation, it's not totally crazy to think that this is going to be some kind of, or can be categorized as a meme coin, because what is a meme coin? A meme coin is really just a coin with a name. It's a smart contract with a name or a meme of some kind. You look at the market, the biggest coin out there is Doge. Obviously, it's the first one. So you got, a dog. Yay, everyone loves dogs. So yeah, the dog coin. Actually, the biggest coins out there are all dog coins. Sheeb, Bonk, Floki. The first non-dog coin, I think, is Pepe. It's a frog. They're all memes. So, and it's just weird. And you look at all of Revelation 13, and you read about you read about the beast, which is described as a conglomerate of animals. And it's just very fascinating. So, I'm not saying that the mark of the beast is going to be a meme coin, but I am saying that meme coins can lead to, or this whole thing can lead to a sort of mark of the beast situation, especially if it does get adopted at some world level or scales to where we're living in a world where Elon Musk says you must have Musk token to participate in his Tesla electric infrastructure with the internet. You can only have internet with Musk coin or X coin or something. And there you go. You got to have the X on the forehead. You got to have the Neuralink, or at least, have a little microchip implanted in your hand or something, or maybe a tattoo to show loyalty, whatever it is. Okay. I'm not even really trying to say that there's going to be these specifics that relate to it, but you can see how the culture of meme coins is leading to something like that. And it might sound like a crazy discussion, but I'm willing to bet with the way things are going, probably not going to sound as crazy in the future, especially because a lot of Satanism, like open Satanism and Luciferianism, have skated by in culture. It really has skated by and infiltrated culture through the protection of humor. If you really think about it, humor has protected satanic ideas and allowed them to seep into culture and society. So if you're talking about meme coins, it makes you laugh. It's a funny thing. It's sort of the perfect Trojan horse to infiltrate. And and part of the mark of the beast having the ethos of all cryptos, like a lot of Bitcoin maximalists, you'll hear them talk about this. You'll say Bitcoin is for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Doesn't matter if you're a smaller grade. Doesn't matter if you're free or slave. Everybody can use Bitcoin. And that is the general thesis of cryptocurrencies. It's the antithesis to the centralized economic fiat system, which is clearly openly Luciferian, satanic, whatever you want to call it. You got the all-seeing eye of Horus, of Providence, on the back of the dollar there. And yeah, the US dollar is more mark of the beast in terms of access and ability to use it. I guess paper cash, you can preserve your privacy, but hey, let's be real. Who are the people really using physical cash these days? It's the money launderers. It's the drug cartels. It's not people on the streets. Not you and I. All of us are in debt. We're in digital debt on digital ledgers to the government. We're in debt to the government, to the banks, the whole system. So you just think about what's really going on, and the prospect of a mark of the beast being cloaked as a sort of meme coin. And one other point to that. If we're living in a world where everybody knows about the mark of the beast prophecies, everybody knows about it, right? Yet a good portion of the population are going to go with it. We know a good portion are going to go with it at some point. In fact, in Revelation, it talks about the people who take the mark and worship the beast. Really, worship is the key here. They do not have salvation. It talks about how the smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever. This is not, literally, this is life, eternal life or death situation for people. And so these people are people who don't have their names written in the book of life. So they may not even be human. I've speculated about those possibilities, that the whole idea of the wheat and the chaff and the separation, it's not just the people saved and not saved. It could literally be, since we might be in the days of Noah again, people who are human and people who aren't, and truly lose their humanity over this. I would not be surprised if that were the case. So in such a world where the mark of the beast prophecies are public, it's public knowledge, the whole world knows about it, yet those prophecies get fulfilled. How else would that happen if it wasn't for, if it wasn't a large group of people who don't have eternal life thinking that it's a big joke? Oh, these Christians think that this mark of the beast is going to torment you forever, taking it, whatever. No, man, I want to be part of the economy. I want to be part of this new thing. Yeah, let's make fun. And we'll make fun of them. You know, it's funny. Those people are lame, right? It's a big joke. You can just do the mark of the beast, right hand, forehead. Let's do the whole thing. So in that context, I can really see a world where meme coins deliver the mark of the beast. And again, I'm not saying that is going to be the case, but in our current milieu, it certainly does seem like the world is headed in that direction. And culturally speaking, I can see those things playing out. But I'm just a weirdo on the internet. Don't listen to me. Do your own research. Do your own prayer. Do your own studying, and go at it on your own accord, leading of the Holy Spirit, of course. And yeah, none of this is financial advice or anything like that. In the meantime, I think lest the Lord returns in the next few years, and it's all going to end, and Apophis is going to come in 2029 or whatever, and the polls are going to flip, and everything's going to change. Our children are going to be operating in Web 3. Our children's children are going to be, Web 3, Web 4. I think it's important for us to know about this stuff and help build the rails for them to be able to still operate with this stuff, but remain grounded in the word, and everything else. Okay, I'm seeing some people hop on stage. Who wants to talk? Oh, Hatham, you're back.
Hello, bro. Yeah, Jones.
What's up, buddy?
Did you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, bro. Do you think the people will help me like this? I just want to make sure.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I cannot tell people or anybody to do anything with their money. I was gonna go in the DMs with you, get to know you a little better in your situation. After the spaces here, just to start up a conversation. So that was my plan.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. But you can share my wallet. You share my wallet here in the space, and
yeah, if you post it, if you post it underneath as a comment, I mean, people can see it. So well, I see you posted it. There you go. Yeah, I see it.
And try to tell the people about my situation, please, bro. And what about you? Did you do anything? Did you?
I haven't yet. I haven't yet. Again, I was gonna DM you and find out more. So, yep.
What about you, bro? Did you send anything?
Yeah, not yet. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna DM you, buddy, and get to know you a little bit, and see if I can help out that way first.
I said, what about you? Did you help me with something or no? Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
but I've been running the spaces here, so I haven't had an opportunity to stop talking really and do anything like that.
Bro. Okay. I will go down. Okay, bro. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Appreciate
bro, I
you.
swear we have a very, very bad situation.
Yeah.
I swear, if maybe you hear the plane, you hear. I swear we have a very, very bad situation, and bombing everywhere, everywhere, and the kids in the streets. Maybe you hear my voice like I got flu or something like this. I got cold. Sometimes here is hot, sometimes it's cold. So all the time we are sick. All the time we are very, very tired. I hope, bro, you do anything for me, please. I swear, I swear. We are not lying, I swear. My English is not well. If my English is well, I will explain everything for you. But my English is not well. And if you want, we can open video. Now it is dark. If you want, tomorrow we can open video. You will see how the life here in the street, how without tents, without anything.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. I'm seeing some of the pictures you're posting here. They're pretty gruesome. Um, yeah.
Please don't forget me, bro. Okay. I will go down. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Hatham. Yes, we'll be praying for you, and I'll hit you up in the
Thank you for
DMs.
it. Thank you because you heard me, and thanks for everybody here, for everyone here in the space. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Okay. Let's see here. See a couple other people up here. Let's see. Lucky Charts. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, buddy. What's up?
Oh, I just you're really speaking to me a lot with a lot of the proverbs, and it's funny that when we know the proverbs and we know the verses, and we hide it within our heart, so that we don't sin against God. When it comes to crypto, all that goes out the door. We start,
I know, it's wild.
Doing dumb stuff. And it's FOMO, it's craziness, it's everything. I think that the most the sound money that I made was when I had gotten early on mining, and started investing in equipment, and I got to a point where I had some really, really good equipment, and it was actually heating up my house, and I wasn't paying for a heating bill, and still, making money on that. And then, the times when I lost the most is when I made a lot of money, ill-gotten gains really quickly, and somehow it just disappears. And I don't know how that works, but for some reason, those proverbs, when you follow them, you really want to stick to those when you're investing in crypto. And I can definitely speak to that. And I think that's the best financial advice that you can get is pick up the word of God and follow what he says to get sound investment. And you just you gotta do with I think the best investment is to invest in what you research, and what kind of what your niche is. Everybody's got something special about them, something that they find particular, something that they're kind of get on the ground floor on, and that's usually what ends up being a better opportunity than trying to follow the whole crowd. Because you're right, you end up selling low and buying high, because you're just following the craziness of the market and everything like that. So I just want to say I really appreciate that, because you're definitely speaking to me, and I need to really constantly remind myself and sit down in the word, and it's all there. We've got all the information we need written for us on how to invest properly, and there's no reason to go crazy. There's no reason to put a ton of money into it, and it should be taken lightly too, because we don't really know the bigger picture of everything. It's the same thing, with .com bubble and all stuff. Nobody knew the bigger picture of the internet back then, and so you got to know what things are being used for.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, you never know. I mean, we don't know. There's a lot we don't know about Bitcoin. There
Exactly.
are people who have researched it, written books about it, but it is only 15 years old. There are people who have speculated as to who created it and why and everything else. But yeah, with anything, it's having that biblical grounding and learning sort of the wealth principles and investment principles from the Bible, because I didn't really first of all, I didn't grow up with any of that knowledge, and I only started looking into it when I discovered crypto as a potential investment. I had invested a little bit in gold and silver, like physical gold and silver, trying to get coins and little collectibles and things like that. Um, but as I started to learn about the sound principles, I did find it also interesting that guys like Dave Ramsey, who's like the biggest, I guess, Christian financial guy, is Dave Ramsey, right? And he was just like, "Oh, Bitcoin and crypto is terrible. Don't do, don't buy it, don't touch it." And that also got me kind of like, wait a minute, why does he think it's terrible? Like, why does he say don't touch it? That's interesting. So it kind of created a Streisand effect for me anyway at the time. But yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And yeah, you're right. Uh, if I had invested in mining equipment and stuff like that, I didn't go that far with it because I don't know, I had a family. I couldn't really go too deep in that stuff. I don't know. It was just different for me. But I know it's the principle of, during the gold rush, the people that really made it out, it wasn't the people mining for gold. It was the people renting out the shovels and building all the the infrastructure around mining for gold. And so I think that's a smart thing to do in this situation as well, is sort of building up and helping build the infrastructure, not necessarily the thing itself. And so I think that'll continue to happen. But it's good to hear from you, Lucky, and thank you for your thoughts. Anybody else? Drew Slary. What's up, Drew?
Hey, what's going on? Just wanted to give you a shout out, man. I've never got a chance to actually tell you how much I appreciate your channel, guys. I don't get to the truth community back like free. He put me on to the Age of Deceit, the first one you ever did before I went to college. And that kind of like opened my eyes to all the like secular nature around me as I grew up, as like from teenage guy into adulthood. And even now, like, I've been making decisions in my life just based on what I've known and what I've learned. That opened up the rabbit hole for me to look into people like Timothy Alberino and Tom Horn. And, I also made a couple good financial guesses, I would say, due to like being open up to like the crypto world. Like I in 2018, I like swapped my 401k, took the risk, and took half of it out. I wouldn't advise this to anybody, but I took half of my 401k out and, swapped it for some Bitcoin. And hey, now, I'm paying it's pretty good for me right now as of now. But yeah, I just want to give you a shout out, man. Like, I never got a chance to be a direct access to you to tell you how much I appreciated all the content you've created throughout the years, man.
I appreciate it, Drew. Man, that's the kind of thing. All praise goes to God.
Yeah.
Just doing what I feel called to do, and it's pretty cool to hear how stuff I've published in the past it shaped people's lives. It's wild to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Like it's hard for me to absorb what that even is like. But yeah, I just praise God with all that stuff because it's really he's the one that's doing all that. But I thank you for the encouraging words and congratulations on your risk, your payoff.
Yeah, for sure. And like just before I go, like I know for sure, I listened to the spaces yesterday, and like I could see the trajectory this country probably will go in if and when Trump is elected. The fact that he is like going Google Gaga for Elon during his spaces, which just shows me he's trusting these tech guys with his life. And we already know what that kind of power gives these guys who have other ideas for the country. But I mean, I guess we can't control anything. And if you just can't, I mean, if you're gonna help your family out in these hard times, you might as well just go with the flow and get that safety boat onto the next economy or whatever, the world 3.0. So yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, like, where can I even find those old documentaries? I feel like your channel's gone now for YouTube.
Yeah, it is gone. Yeah, it got
Yeah.
terminated in 2021 for medical misinformation, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
and yeah, but some what else was it? I think it was cyberbullying
Oh
and
Lord.
medical misinformation. Yeah, they shut it down. I was struggling with staying on there for a few years up until 2021, and we were broadcasting Canary Cry news talk episodes, and we were breaking down all the shenanigans going on
Yeah.
during the pandemic, and that ended
Yeah,
the
because I
channel.
feel like that documentary was like really like had so many views. I feel like it probably not only me, it probably like affected so much of other people. But I'm looking forward to your future work. I know like my uncle and I, we like, you know, whenever we hear like there's a new like a new content coming out, we always like try to make some time to like, you know, watch it, break it down together, get some food. So keep up the good work, bro. Appreciate you.
Appreciate the kind words and encouragement. Thank you so much. And
All right,
yeah,
cool.
God bless.
All right, God bless you too.
All right. Very cool. Sir Dylan, do you want to say anything? I'm going to wrap it up here soon. Sir Dylan on mute. Guess he doesn't have much to say. That's okay. Cool. Well, on that note, I think I'm going to start shutting it down here. The this is I've straddled between the crypto Web3 world and just sort of the more traditional world of Web2 for the last few years. And, you know, I've been trying to think of how to bring the conversations together. Some people in the Web3, because what I see in Web3, the Web3 community and meme coins and all that, I see a lot of people can use some foundational biblical principles just in general. You know, that's beyond sort of the core, you know, get to know Jesus Christ and get saved, that kind of thing, your salvation. Just in terms of the investment side of things, I've noticed that some of the core principles, the biblical principles, can really help out people in Web3. But also, I think there is something to learn from the people that are in Web3. They're kind of like pioneers. They're a little bit crazy. They're a little bit wild because you're out in wild west territory. You're the front lines when it comes to uncharted territory. And I think as a church, it's easy to just say it's all satanic, it's all leading to the mark of the beast, and don't touch it. But we've noticed that, you know, the church in general, and maybe this isn't necessarily, you know, the worst thing, but the church is usually behind on the like the cultural conversation, and you know, things get like Christianized later, right? Like anything that's secular, especially during my lifetime, a lot of things like music and stuff like that that become popular and mainstream in a secular sense. Christianity adopts it and makes a Christian version of it or whatever. And that's also true in crypto. There is a Jesus coin, like a hashtag Jesus meme coin, out there, and they're very interesting. I've kept an eye on them, and they've been around for a while, and they've tried to do basically the Great Commission and spread the gospel and things in the context of the meme coin community. So that's a group trying to do something like that, which is interesting. But in general, trying to bridge those two worlds. I've been ruminating on that for a while now, and I think for those of you who are part of canarycry.tube and trying to help us create a sovereign way to broadcast everything, Web3 is going to be a part of that. It's not everything, obviously, but it's a part of that. And I think part of waiting, because, you know, I wanted to pull the trigger on building stuff and doing things back in 2020, 2021. But number one, I don't think the community was ready. I wasn't ready. And I think the leading of the Holy Spirit, I didn't feel quite led to really, you know, pull the trigger and go, you know, full into it. And I'm starting to really feel that now. Now it's like, okay, it's starting to feel like things are moving in that direction where if we don't do it, then we're just going to be overrun by like AI bots or something, and we will never see each other again on the internet. That's kind of what it feels like. So there you go. Hope you get something out of this conversation, this discussion today. Appreciate all of you for being here. I'm going to hop into a couple different, I guess, a doginal space here coming up, but I'm going to pull the plug here. God bless everybody. Stay watchful. Thank you. Go to canarycry.party to see all the links for everything we do. And we'll be back tomorrow with another Canary Cry News Talk. See you guys later.